See what I'm doing? You're live. We're here.
Welcome back to the Ask Coach Mike show.
Tonight. Yes.
Tonight we have another fantastic guest, but let's start tonight again with a great point that this young lady is involved in.
Young lady.
Like that.
Very well suited.
Dave, Mirka, Julie gets another big one. Another great get. Mirka, why? Gets another one. Julie gets it. Oh my gosh. Julie, great wheels. Another one. Dave hits a wide shot. Guess who cut?
Oh my God.
What a killer point.
incredible.
Forget about
Some
who
of the
won it.
gets
Look at all
there.
these shots.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And who gets
here.
that wide?
Phenomenal.
Only a tennis player.
And another
And
one.
Julie
from
dives.
JJ there in.
Oh my goodness, you guys started the show with something I in the net.
You didn't win that point, but you won the match and the trophy. What a great
true.
point.
Well, if you guys haven't figured it out, we have the amazing senior pro Julie Johnson on with us
Yay,
tonight.
Julie.
And I certainly don't like to start with a point they didn't get. I will say they went on to win the match, and they did win the mixed silver medal in the Chicago Open. But I thought it was such a great point. You know, I know you didn't get the point, but you did go on to win the match.
Yeah.
So, Julie, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you very much. We're very excited to have you.
Well, we know you're just scrambling back from the Texas Open, but let's start with Coach Mike's favorite question, and that is, how did pickleball find you, Julie?
So, my son has always played a lot of tennis, and we lived in Kansas 4 years ago where my husband ran a business. And right before we sold the business, we were getting ready to move to Florida for tennis. And we have a friend who winters in Florida. And he said, hey, you guys come out. I want to show you this game. So we played with my friend Dawn Porter a couple of times before we moved to Naples, Florida. And we moved to Naples originally. And when we moved, we knew absolutely no one. It was just all tennis. And so in the evenings as a family, we would just go out and play pickleball for a couple hours. And we loved it. Well, then it got to where the kids, you know, were at school and tennis and all that. So I loved pickleball because I could go out in the mornings. I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to set anything up. If I could play an hour, I played an hour, 2 hours, whatever. And it was so easy. They're at Veterans Park right there in Naples. So then we fast forward to that, and we ended up moving to the east coast of Florida, to Delray. And same thing, go down to Delray Beach Pickleball Center, or tennis center,
Right.
sorry. You could just pick up games, and it was a fun and easy thing to do. So that's how we found pickleball, just because we didn't know anybody when we moved.
Now, obviously, Julie, you have a tennis background. You talked about JW, and we'll get to him in a minute, but tell us about your tennis background, and obviously that's helped you in pickleball.
Yeah, so my tennis background really isn't very impressive. I didn't play much. I just played it recreationally. And then I met my husband, Jack, who's very serious about tennis. And so we worked, and he coached. And that's when I started playing all the time. And then, you know, USTA leagues, you know, that kind of thing. But it wasn't the serious background that my husband and my son had. So, yeah.
So when was it you realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this? You know, I'd like to take this to the next level.
Well, I don't even know if I'm that good at it now. So
You're too humble, Julie.
it was actually the strangest thing. So I would just go out to the Delray Center and play with the people, enjoyed it, loved it. Had a great time, met so many nice people. And then one day this guy walked out who had like this thing on his head. And he walked up to JW and he said, would you like to play some singles? And I was looking at this guy thinking, I've never seen him before. So JW went out and played him singles, and it was Mirka. And so that's how we met Mirka. And we all started playing together. And then I had no idea there was anything like senior pro, or I didn't know anything. I'd played in like one tournament. So
Wait, stop for a second. Jeff,
Yeah.
of all people she could have met. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. You bump into probably one of the best senior pro single men's player in the country, right?
Well,
I just happened to meet him first. How great was that?
He just started. He just walked out there.
I know.
Pants, but he didn't care. He said, "Can we play again?" and, anyway, so Mirka says, "Hey, let's start training. Let's be senior pros." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And so then I started talking to people and trying to figure all of it out. And so I did. I had a nice full year to get my butt kicked by all the young people before I still get my butt kicked.
Julie.
Yes.
Was Mirka the first person that asked you to play, or did anybody else ask you to play, and then maybe Mirka was second or third or fifth? No other guys asked you to play?
Nobody knew me because I wasn't a senior pro. I was just able to start playing the seniors in January. So he knew I was getting
in January. You heard that, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, Julie, you bring up an interesting point. How hard is it for, somebody in their early to even mid to late 40s to compete with your son's age opponents?
Well, you can ask Steve Deacon and Altoff Merchant and some of these guys who are doing it well, but it's tough. Doubles, I think, is a little bit doable. Singles is really tough. And even in doubles, don't know this, but in my opinion, and that's just how I don't think there's a lot of the people have the tremendous amount of fitness you need in pickleball. Like, I don't think that fitness is something really taken pickleball over like it has tennis, where they spend equal amounts of time training sport in fitness as they do on the court in their sport. And so
it'll have to happen.
It will have to happen. I absolutely think so. And when it does happen, it's going to change even more, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's so I think for senior pros, it's just tough. Pickleball tournaments, those are long days, especially if you're and it's a lot. So yeah.
So we're gonna get back to that about staying healthy and that kind of thing.
About fitness and stuff like that.
Let's stay on that. 1 year, almost exactly to the day, 1 year ago, you were battling Leah Jansen in the singles finals in Hilton Head at 49, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at a 21 year age difference.
Yeah.
Give or take, right?
You guys, I think at the end of the day, I should probably have my head checked, but I had taken JW to the Chicago Open where I just sat and watched him play. And I thought, what am I doing? Like, I'll just sign up and I'll just play. And whatever happens, happens. At least I'm getting some exercise. And so I signed up for that. And how that all played out it shocked me. I mean, but of course, Leah is a great player, and I didn't have a prayer against her, but it was still fun. And it was interesting because my friend Megan Hall, she ended up getting the bronze medal. And we walked up to get our medals, and Ken Harriman is so good. He always presents you the medals, and then he gives you your checks.
Right.
And we walked away, and Megan and I stopped and looked at our checks, and we both almost tripped and fell down because we'd never earned a cent playing pickleball. And that was a lot of fun. So I thought, you know what? I'm glad I didn't care if I got my rear end handed to me, because this was actually pretty fun.
So this was just 1 year ago. That was your first check.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have Ken. It looks like he just posted a message here, but he's watching the show tonight. But that's amazing. 1 year ago, you're still a kid, if you will, not a senior pro, and you got a singles medal and a nice check to go with it. And now, obviously, everybody on the senior pro tour knows who you are. And
sure.
respects the daylights out of you
That
as
was
an
really
ambassador to the sport,
fast.
and what a great athlete
And
and
she
pickleball
is.
player you are.
So Ken's just saying briefly that it's wonderful that you're an ambassador for the sport, number one, and number two, how you and another gal that he mentioned has their children into the sport too, growing the sport, knowing that they're going to be the future of pickleball. So he's actually giving you high fives in his comments.
Well, Ken's a great guy, a really
Mm-hmm.
great,
Mm-hmm.
doing a great thing for
Doing
pickleball.
a great job. Yeah.
This whole next gen series he's doing.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's get back to the staying in shape. I mean, I look at your schedule. You played, I think, 21 events so far this year, and
Wow.
unlike a lot of seniors, I mean, I know Mirka plays all 3 events, and you and he just triple crowned in Atlanta, which is actually Griffin, which is an amazing feat, to do that. And you played 3 weekends in a row and 4 out of 5. How tough is it to stay healthy and strong?
It's not easy. Once you hit 5 decades, you got to pay attention to stuff. And there's a few times I thought, maybe I'll sit singles out, and then I can't do it. When the day rolls around, I think, you know what? If I get beat, I get beat, but I want to go out there and try. And I keep thinking, this is a lot, but once we're there and we're going, we all are just having a great time. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, the fact that we get to go as a family and experience all of it together, it's just been special. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. So, nobody makes me play. There's a lot worse things I could be doing. And I'll tell you something, is when they put my kids right next to me playing.
Oh my gosh, doesn't that kill you?
Oh, bad. Yeah. And yet at the same time, I feel like I owe it to my partners and people I'm playing with that I need to focus in on what we're. And so it was really nice because I played with Gigi Fernandez in Atlanta or Griffin. And after we finished, they had JW and Dylan playing against Jay DeVilliers and Adam Stone in the semifinals right next to us. And she looked at me and said, Julie, you did a really good job staying focused. And I was like, okay.
Wow, right?
Because I mean, like, she is business out there. So that was, I felt good. I was like, what? But I know there's times I have let myself get distracted, and that's something I can't do anymore. I mean, that's one of the things I've had to learn, because it's just inevitable that every single time I go to play, there's one of them right next to me. So.
Wow. So do you have a workout routine off the courts? Do you lift? I mean, how do you stay in shape? I mean, you're in great shape, obviously.
Yeah. So my background is physical therapy. So been a physical therapist for years. And so just based on that, knowing that pickleball creates a lot of muscle imbalances, just like, you need to do everything you can to try to keep yourself symmetrical and keep everything equal. And so I do, we have a Florida Atlantic University down the road. And one of my favorite things to do is to go out there every day and run the stadium stairs. I just enjoy it. It's peaceful. It's something I do to just get away, and it's a great workout. And then I don't do a lot with weights. I do a lot just with my own body weight. And I'll tell you guys this, when you get old, you just do things that make your body feel better. And so I see a lot of these people when they're trying to do fitness, you can tell it's not feeling good, or they're pushing themselves and they think it's okay. And so I'm kind of fortunate that I have a background where I know how far to push and what's an okay pain and what's not. And so it's been really helpful. So then I also, I do a lot of balance and that kind of training, hand-eye coordination and things like that. So
that's wonderful. Great. That's unusual. Not a lot of people are doing that. Balancing on a ball, working out while you're balancing at the same time, and kind of confusing the muscles, not doing the same thing over and over and over.
100%. And, I broke my wrist playing at Del Rey. It was 10 days before the Del Rey Open, and I fell and broke it. After that, like having that brace on my arm, I couldn't believe how it had made me feel like so robotic and awkward. So after the brace came off and everything, it was like it was necessary for me to do that because I was very off balance there for a while. So, yeah.
What were your favorite sports growing up, Julie? What did you play a lot, though, when you were younger?
Okay, so we grew up in a small town in Missouri, and you just all the up and whatever you could get together is what you did. So we played a lot of softball, tag. Just kids. Back in our day, it wasn't so. We just played all the time, and it wasn't anything super organized. It was just what you did all day long till your mom forced you to come in the house, right?
Exactly.
So,
we knew when to be home for dinner.
That's right. So I didn't play a lot of organized sports. It was just mostly kids out being kids. That's what we did.
Okay.
So it looks like your kids are obviously very athletic, and we'll get to a deeper question. But you kept them away from the Xbox. It seems like kids are consumed by technology these days.
Hey, they might tell you they're abused, but I'll tell you this: when JW was 6 months old, my husband walked in the door and he had a helium balloon kit. I was like, what are you doing? And he said, watch this. So he blows up a helium, he ties it on a string, he ties the string to a shoe, and he handed JW a fly swatter. 6 months old. And then when he was about 10 months old and he could stand up, he took a wiffle ball and he hung it from the ceiling fan, and he turned the ceiling fan on low, and he gave him a ping pong paddle. And so my kids never, they had Xboxes and Wii's. We never played them. We never touched them. When we moved to Florida, I gave them away. Like, it's never been an interest for them. So.
Wow.
Well, Julie, you brought up the guy with the skull cap. Tell us what it's like playing with Mirka.
Oh goodness. So it's a lot of fun. It's always been fun I guess a big part of my personality is that I'm a comfort player, and there's so few women senior pros that I've had different partners just about every single tournament. And so to have Mirka, to know that I go train with him all the time, to know what he's going to do, for us to know each other's games so well, it's really nice. It's been a huge blessing. And he's very analytical. And he's done a lot to help with teaching just things like court positioning and strategies. He's into all that, right, Mike?
Very technical, very tactical. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you guys are both very assertive too. And he couldn't be with a partner that was nice and easy and you'd hang out in the corner. No, you're just as aggressive, in a good way. It's called, what's it called, Jeff? Controlled aggression. Yeah, that's what it is.
And the nice thing too, like Mirka and I have just gotten to be good friends. And so have a bad tournament. Neither one of us like it, but we just are like, all right, we'll see you next week. Back to work. And that's been very comforting. I know that there's partnerships that don't work out and people that, and I just know that Mirka and I can just keep grinding it out, and we keep working on it. And it's been really nice. So
what's really nice is that both of them appreciate so much what she just said, because so many people go from partner to partner to partner to partner. And it's hard because you have to start all over again, right, Jules?
Oh my goodness.
The first guy you start playing with is the last guy that you're going to play with. That's highly unusual. And I know how much he appreciates you, and I know how much you appreciate him. And that's not the norm. It's just not.
Yeah. And there's people that may not like it. I really enjoy it. So it's been a lot of fun. we play together 6 nights a week. We get the kids. We've got a tremendous group of players right here. It's been interesting. Like, we spent a month in California going to tournaments, and the kids were like, we can't wait to go home because we can really round up people to play there. It was just very usual, you know, in the days leading up to the tournaments.
Right.
And we had a great group of 10 people tonight, lots of good players. And so it's just fun. It's always fun.
If I remember correctly, Jules, and I know you can correct me, the first time I met you was I got a call about some rec play. Hey, Mike, come on down to West Palm. It's a little over an hour for me and a little bit over an hour for them when they come up north my way. And I was invited by someone that he's part of that group. I mean, everyone knows Steve Rose. Everyone loves Steve Rose. He's the greatest guy. And he's one of those guys that is a huge ambassador for the sport. He puts lots of stuff together. There's lots of Steve Roses out there. I'm mentioning him. And I come out there, and I don't know if I knew Mirka. I never met Julie, but I met Mirka one time in Davie, Florida at a tournament. Nobody knew who he was, and nobody really knows me. And I'm happy that way. I like it like that. I'm like, Julie's like, that's okay. I'd rather be private. But meeting them and realizing that they're just getting started, and then a year later, they're two of the top players in the country. So it's pretty cool that you can hang out, have rec play with them, and they still do it. It's not like, we're too good, we can't play with you guys anymore.
Well,
they're not like that. They're not that kind of people, Jeff, and I just want to throw it out there. That's all.
Hey, you know, Mike, we might like to be like that, but when you have JW who shows up every night, and Johnny Goldberg and Martina Coakley in Georgia, you don't get to think that.
Yeah. No, it keeps you on your toes. I agree wholeheartedly. I wish I had that core of people in my area. Most people don't. It's another blessing to have so many strong players in your backyard.
You know, so at the Texas Open, Zane Navratil asked to ride to the airport with us, and we were talking to Zane, and I was shocked. Like, there's not a good doubles game within an hour of him, and he'll drive, have to play singles practice with John Senkola, and other than that, has nothing. And that's just shocking. Like, we are so spoiled here.
Oh, yes. Oh, 100%. And you have lots of courts to choose from.
Yes. We have just a great, tremendous pool of 5-0 and up players here. So
really do.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. You talked a little bit about traveling, being in California. I was looking at the APP schedule, and Mexico and Europe are on the schedule next year. Are you at all interested in heading to any of those destinations?
Okay, so we talked about this. I was going to try to pull Ken aside and talk to him about some of the European things, but we have decided to go play Cancun. So we're pumped. And I don't know. I was going to ask Ken more because I don't know a lot about what's going on there. And I've known some people who've been traveling to Europe, and with the COVID restrictions, I don't know if I guess it's still happening. Mexico is pretty lax. I have a friend going there this week, and he said he just had to fill out 2 pieces of paper.
It's coming back, Julie. That's harder. Coming back to the States, they require stuff.
Exactly. And so just with all the loopholes and the COVID and things, I don't know if we're going to jump over to Europe, but if Ken convinces me otherwise this weekend, maybe we'll think about it. I don't know.
That's nice.
Question for him, which I will ask him, is, are there people there we're going to play that are local to the community, or are you kind of relying on all of us going over there and showing them what pickleball is? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's a great question. Here are the couple events. I know you talked about Cancun. There's also one in Guadalajara. There's one, the French Open and the Spanish Open, which would be really cool as well. It looks like they're going back to Griffin, doing Hilton Head soon, and then again. Sorry, Julie, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say Griffin was a great venue. That was really nice there.
And then, sorry, it looks like I forgot the English Open as well, and that's the end of June. But hopefully by then, things will have cleared up and we'll be in a better situation.
I just think it's wonderful he's doing it. Like, what a great thing. So
For sure.
anything we can do to help grow this sport, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Like shows like this.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, people get to know the person a little bit better and find out, it changed my life. Most of the people that we have on, Jules, it's not just them, their family. Because they're doing more as a family together. It's so engaging, and the sport's social enough that now your other friends that you didn't talk to, they're playing pickleball too. Now the families are getting together. So it's much more than just the sport. I feel that it's changing a lot of people's lives, and in a good way too.
A wonderful way. Like, if you would have told me 2 years ago I'd be traveling around the country playing professional pickleball with my kids, I would.
Wait, getting paid.
Yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about. Like,
Right.
Such a, really.
Good.
So.
Well, I've been playing this sport 2.5 years here in Naples, and I probably have 100 or so friends that I've made just between the white lines. It's been amazing.
Where do you play, Jeff?
I play right at East Naples.
Okay, yeah. So you and 5 every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's starting to get busy again. The summer was pretty quiet, but this time of year it's starting to fill up, and the construction's going well for the new clubhouse, and excited for that to get open. And
2022 they're going to have a whole new look.
Wow.
It's already begun. Yeah, more construction, more courts, new clubhouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to get back over there. Wow.
Yeah, so Jeff's at the park, what is it, like 10, 15 minutes away from your house?
Yeah, 10 minutes on a bad day.
And Jeff was more of a golfer in the past. So he knew coming to Florida, I'm going to either golf or maybe I'll try this weird sport they call pickleball. And guess what happened, Jill? Guess what happened?
Yeah. Hey, y'all know how you feel, Jeff.
It's amazing.
But also,
it's such a great sport.
His body has thinned out just because he's moving so much, right? And with golf, you don't get a lot of cardio. I mean, your body hurts after 18 holes, granted, when you're playing good golf, but it's just the moving and the camaraderie, and I agree.
I don't think you could compare pickleball and golf. So yeah.
And Mike, what I used to play, no one would ever call that good golf. So let's be very clear
golf
here.
To feel good, not good golf to feel bad.
Yeah. People would ask me if I played golf, and my response would always be, I own clubs.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Now I can happily say I don't own clubs anymore. So
Sure.
That's right.
But I'm like everyone else. I have half a dozen paddles.
What are you hitting?
What's that?
What are you hitting with?
I gotta give Mike the props.
Just say Selkirk. Just say the right thing, Jeff.
His watermelon skittle color shirt over there. So
I got my logo here. Where am I? Wrong side.
Well, Mike hasn't seen my paddle lately. It looks like I'm an amazing player because both sides are pitted right in the middle.
One of the vendors that Selkirk used at one point, the painting on the paddles was not done well. Having said that, you'll see people have a lot of white specks. Like, wow, you're really good. Anywhere you hit, it's going to chip. But you can see where people are hitting. And Jules, I'm going to throw
Hold that thought, Mike.
So, Jeff, when you golf on the blade, you put a little piece of something sticky, and it shows you where you're making contact with the ball.
Okay.
Why wouldn't that apply for pickleball when you're coaching, to see where you're hitting all your shots? You know what I'm saying?
Now he's going to show us what he's got.
Oh, no. He went to go get his paddle?
Sorry, I had to get Exhibit A.
Oh, hey, this guy's a pro. Look at him.
The funny thing is, in Griffin, the first referee that had our match had to bring Byron over
to check it.
They were trying to throw it out. He said, "Oh, this is a little sticky," and Byron said, "Oh, it's just the normal wear and tear of the paddle." So
there you go. And yes, Byron's been on the show. Thank you, Byron.
Yes. I have talked to Byron. He talked about pickleball stories. He could give them to you.
Oh yeah,
sure.
He had a couple good ones for us.
And he doesn't stay home. His home is his motor home. That's his home. What's shrunk wrap around it? Is it onyx over the whole thing?
Probably.
Yeah. It ought to be, right? Yeah. Okay.
You know, that's another thing about this sport that has just amazed me is the people I see that are so wholeheartedly dedicated. And
Mhm.
I'm talking about the Byrons, the Melissa McCurleys, the Nicole Hobsons, the
Yeah.
Danas, the Kens, the Pardos, like these people who've just put so much into it, that it's just shocking to me. I just, I don't know how you can't be grateful for someone who's given
There
so
you
much.
go. There you go. You're absolutely correct. Well, look at you. You're a great example. Your whole life is pickleball for the most part. I mean, you're raising your kids and blah, blah, but the kids are in. And by the way, she has another child, not just JW.
Yeah, yeah.
Another very, very good athlete.
Georgia, she's doing really well. She
Uh-huh.
had some good tournaments lately, and she works hard, and she's coming right along. So
Yeah.
Now, is she
she
a pro?
The fruit didn't fall far from the tree, Jeff. Actually, it didn't fall at all.
Now, is she a pro as well?
she does play pro events.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
She was
Brand
really
new to the sport. Brand new.
she played in Orlando with Sarah Ansberry, and they had some very good wins. I think Lee Whitwell and Vivian David, and then Callie Smith and Corinne Carr. They took Jesse and Catherine to 3 games. I mean, she's, and then she got bronze in singles in Griffin.
Oh,
So for the
fantastic.
people that are maybe listening, and some of your friends actually are typing in Gina Pendrak.
Yeah,
Must
hi,
be one of Julie's friends. She's checking in. Proud to know you. No doubt Jack was on it from the beginning. You must know what that means.
yeah.
But
Well, poor Jack coached her and her 2 sisters in tennis. And the first time her sister came, she took a 3-hour lesson. And about 30 minutes into it, she went over and puked her guts out. And she kind of stumbled back onto the court. And Jack says, "All right, you ready?"
wow,
That's funny.
that's diehard.
All played college tennis. They did really well. And so Gina
Okay.
knows full well about Jack's training.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
obviously, I'll be looking forward to looking up your daughter, but a lot of people, are excited about how JW's been playing. He knocked off Ben 2 or 3 weeks ago, and
Mhm.
just really cool to see the success that he's had. He's probably one of the biggest stories of the year, I would say, in professional pickleball.
For his mom and dad too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this has just been really fun. He, it's interesting because his tennis background, it was multiple coaches, fitness trainers, just so strict. And now he has no coach. And yet, Rob Cassidy was teasing me. He goes, "So, Julie, when you get home, every day you wake up and you say, 'What am I cooking for dinner? What do I have to do today?' Oh, make JW better at pickleball. Then I need to cook what else am I going to do? Make JW better at pickleball." Not me at all. He's just really, his analysis. I love to talk to him about his. I love to sit and watch, and he'll show me things, and he talks about things. He's a very nice kid to his mom. And today we were drilling together this morning, and he said he was breaking down this whole point that happened against 2 top-level players in Texas last weekend, and he just analyzes it beautifully. And I've learned a lot from him. He doesn't understand why I can't hit every shot like he does, but it's been fun to watch him and to just see him go and do more, and with not all this fanfare and excessive stuff that tennis had.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what I know you played in a few tournaments with him. What was that like?
Okay, for me or for JW?
For
We
you.
can only ask you.
You can't speak for him, I don't think, but.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what he told me. But you know what? He's going to have to do it again because next year Ken's adding in the over-under events like they had at the U.S. Open.
Oh, great.
Right here, buddy.
Nice.
So it was funny because we did that I'll tell you a story. We did that because we didn't know anybody. We knew no one. And Eden Lika showed up at the pickleball courts one night. Mirka invited him because they're both Romanian. And Eden came out and he played with Mirka, JW, Lee Waters, and himself were out there. And at the end of the game, he looked at JW and said, will you play the US Open with me next year? You're going to be great. And we're like, JW, play a pickleball tournament? What? And so then Lee said, well, would he play a tournament with Anna Lee? So she was trying to teach me about the PPA, and you needed to qualify and this and that. So we just sign up and we go to this Mesa Open. It was February of 2019, right before COVID hit. And we went out there, and JW and I played Jesse Irvine and Jeff Warnick. And honestly, we just played like it was tennis. Like I took half the court, he took half the court. Well, needless to say, after 3 points, he never saw another ball. I took everything, and they just made mincemeat of us. I think it was 0-1 in about, I don't know, 12 minutes maybe. Maybe not even that long. So that scarred him a little bit. And then we had to play Jay DeVilliers and Vivian David, and they beat us badly. And so he left a real sour taste in his mouth. And the whole time I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. And then we fast forward, we played Hilton Head. And we went out to play Steve Deacon and Sarah Ansberry. And I said, J-Dub, what do you think? You think we can get 5 points in a game? He's like, I don't know. I said, well, let's just try. Let's just go for 5 points, all right? So we get out there, and we got to 5, and I looked at him, and we high-fived each other and started laughing, and then I think we maybe got 7 points that game. So, but, you know, at that point, we were so new to it, we didn't know the strategies, and, you know, it was just.
So for some of the listeners that just heard all these names that you threw out, she just happened to mention probably the top 10 players in the country, probably in the world, that when she got into the sport, that's who she met first. But a year forward, I'm sure she'd like to have those games back, and she very likely will be having those games back against those same people, if you haven't already.
Only if they join the senior pros, Mike.
Oh, yeah, they're all too young, I know.
And meanwhile, they can just keep beating each other up. I'll be out there with.
Exactly.
So anyway, it was a lot of fun. We're so glad we did it.
Yeah.
Would grab his mother and go back out on the court? Absolutely not.
So you mentioned the split events. So for those that don't know what that is, correct me if I'm wrong, Julie, that's one over 50 and one under 50. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. And those were a lot.
Yeah, I saw a few of those matches over here. Those were great. Really fun to watch.
Yeah, Johnny Goldberg had asked me to play, and Leah Jansen, and Johnny. I mean, we get to play with each other a lot, and it had rained that day, and so they shortened it to 1 game to 11, win by 2. And just because, you know, Johnny and I knew each other's games, we actually had a lot of good wins. That was just a lot of fun for us. So we had fun, and then it's a fun event. I think it was kind of a neat thing they did. So. Did you play in it?
Great concept.
Which one?
The over-unders at the Open?
I have not yet, but I will next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly the only time that we're going to see a lot of those people, right? So.
Right. And I saw a lot of somebody's in their 50s and the partners in their 20s. So there's a big combination.
Yeah.
Coach fun. Mike, he's not going to tell you about this, but he did get to the big stage at the US Open.
Sure.
Of course he did. He's so good. When was this, Mike?
By mistake, they let me go on the court and play. It was a surprise thing. Listen, I had no plans to be going on the indoor court on TV. It's because Dave Weinbach was up next. It just so happened we won our matches. Dave would have been next, and Dave goes, come on, Mike, let's go. I go where? He goes, we're going inside under the tent. I go, for what? He goes, we're playing. And so I had no idea. I wasn't ready at all. And nothing against the guy I met. Was a super great guy. I met him that day. He was
Oh,
out of town. His partner got hurt. Someone called me and said, Mike, could you play? Very nice guy. I met him. We maybe got in one game of rec play, and it was fun though. It's just a blast to be out there. You know that. You can't
absolutely.
win every game anyways. So
No, no.
I had a great time. I had fun.
That's a great story. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good story. So I know you haven't played this game a long time, but to this point, Julie, what's been your favorite venue to play and why?
Well, that's a good question. I actually really liked the venue in Griffin, Georgia, and I'll tell you why. I liked that one because it was a smaller town in kind of the middle of nowhere. And I mean, it's 40 outside of Atlanta, but this had spent so much time and effort planning that venue and building it that it just made me feel like this is amazing. Like these people care. And I liked that. You see a lot of venues that are kind of thrown together, but this one had the covered area with the lights. It had so many courts that were all clustered around a central clubhouse type thing. They had good bathrooms. I just thought that was one very well thought out, laid out venue, and also an incredibly welcoming community. So
someone else told me that logistically, the way the setup was, even when you came in, and the people that he had, the volunteers, he said, made the whole tournament so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. And you know, there's ones that are a lot more glamorous and kind of fancy.
Sure.
I just thought for a small town to pull off something like that, awesome. It was so nice. So they did a great job.
They absolutely did. I know we played on Sunday in Orlando and then continued to Atlanta or Griffin. And, you know, we were like, where are the pros? Well, the pros are a quarter of a mile that way,
Yeah.
you know, where we were. And, you know, just a completely different situation. But yeah, Griffin did a great job.
Yeah.
Really good job.
I think that for a small, somebody really was thinking. So
absolutely. So let's take that question a little bit further. What to this point has been your favorite moment on the pickleball court?
So
I'm sure there's more than one, but just pick one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you mean me personally, but my favorite moment in pickleball was probably seeing JW getting there to be there that day he won TOC in singles. That was a lot of fun. And I had some real special friends who sat and watched with me. And were there. Jack my husband had just had his knee replaced, so he wasn't able to come with us. And that was exciting and that was fun because it was finally like, it was just amazing. I mean, the whole day, the wins that he had, and then he just kept going and he was so calm and stoic and he got his work done. But when he came off that court and he walked up the stairs to where I was sitting, his face was just, the smile was just enormous. And
priceless.
Yeah, he was so happy. And I thought, you know, as a mom, I take what I do seriously, but it's never as meaningful as when it happens for your kid. So
absolutely correct. Beautiful. And I'm just going to add to it, Jeff, you probably know this, for people that maybe haven't been able to play lots of tournaments. There's 3 majors, right? US Open, Julie mentioned Tournament of Champions, TOC, and then Nationals. And at the location for TOC, most people don't know, it's in Brigham City, Utah. You literally go through a neighborhood, right? And it used to be you just turn down this hilly road, little rocks and stuff, and boom, was this small little park. Now it's grown, it's gotten bigger. But the people there are so nice and so wonderful and go out of their way. Now, when JW played this match, the weather was horrible. Horrible. They took it inside. So think of this. Is he 18 or 19?
He's 18. He'll be 19 in November.
Here's this 18-year-old boy going to play now in a place he's probably never been, against the number 1 or 2 player in the world, in the country first, If you can beat this guy, then you go to this other guy, and he's always number 1 or 2. But by the way, I'm not going to be outdoors where I'm comfortable. I'm going to be inside this whatever gym area, right? Cement wall.
Yeah.
And I don't know him well, but this kid, he could sell calm in a bottle. He really, really could. He's so calm. And you can see, me personally, when I watched himself and Ben play, it was like a mirror.
Yeah.
They're so calm. They're so similar. So, by the way, big ups, loud and clear to JW. I haven't been able to see you give you a big hug yet, but I have to play Tyson first before I get to you, Ben.
Actually, it was the other way around, Mike.
Oh, no kidding.
He played Ben and then Tyson.
And then Ben again?
And then Ben got beat by Spencer Smith in the back
Oh, you're
draw.
right. You're right. I wasn't there.
He had to play Tyson again.
Tyson twice, Ben once.
Yeah.
And won how many times?
And who?
And he won them all.
Won them all. Yeah, he won them all. So.
And you know what? And even when he won, you don't see him going crazy, jumping in the air, throwing stuff. No. Good game. Give me bumps. Julie, listen, it's partly your fault, so you're to blame.
I get blamed for everything here, Mike. So yeah, you're right.
Well, Julie, we've been at this for over 45 minutes, so let's close with this question, unless there's anything else you want to share. So, what excites you most? And I'm sure this question means a lot to you, but what excites you most about the future of pickleball?
Oh wow. Okay. So there are several things. First of all, I know there's people. It was really sweet. Jennifer LaCour and Alex Hamner came up and gave JW a book that Jennifer and her mom have written together on the history of pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's people like Jennifer and a lot of these who've been in it, I don't know, probably 12 years at this point, maybe longer. But it's still such a baby sport, and it still has so many things that are changing and evolving that I feel like from the very start of the APP and the PPA, we've been here. We've gotten to watch it grow tremendously, even in this area. And it's just so exciting to me to see where this is going to go, how the future's going to take it and shape it, and that maybe we get to help be a part of it. So.
Well, somebody is sending in something. And they are just saying, short and sweet, that Julie is probably the most calm person to play with. There's never any drama. I'm not making some words, pretty much word for word says. There's never any drama, very assertive, easy to play with. You can change the game plan anytime we need to. And it happens to be your partner, Mirka, who wanted to come on the show, but he's on an important call. So he's texting all this to me. And I have to share it because, I care about you guys equally. Having said that, Jeff, it's so hard to find a good partner like that you're relatable, both wicked healthy. Oh, by the way, before we go, you talked about physically how you need to stay in shape. Talk about nutrition for a little bit, please.
Yeah, so nutrition's something that we have had to explore in this family for a long time. And so it started when we found out that the kids had some food allergies. And then I started working with a nutritionist, a naturopath out of Atlanta. And she took us on quite a journey. And basically, there's a process you can go through to kind of figure out what foods are your body tolerates better than others, which ones you might have adverse reaction to. And I always tell people, I'm not the food police, but I am a selfish jerk, and I would rather feel good than eat everything on a buffet. So therefore, I eat a pretty strict diet. And I can tell you that at 50, I feel better than I felt at 35. It changed everything for me. And
what goes in between your nose and chin is everything.
Everything. Yes. It changes everything. Yeah. And so, the kids eat a little differently than I do. My sister.
They can.
What?
They can.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They didn't have 35 years of trash in their bodies. Yeah.
I'm with
And
you, Jules. I was the first at the dessert line.
yeah, no thought to what you're eating and how you're eating and that kind of thing. And now it's very second nature to us. But when we travel, we usually get Airbnb so we can actually cook.
Right.
And yeah, we put a lot of effort into our nutrition, our fitness, and the whole package. So
It is a package. It's hard to not do one. And
yeah,
so I have very good friends that were personal trainers, but they were also in the entertainment industry. So on the weekends, they'd had to entertain. And with that entertaining became drinking, drinking, drinking. So they would train so hard all week because they knew, but they couldn't get rid of the weight. All
yeah,
the sugar. They kept fighting the weight, fighting the weight, fighting the weight because the sugar will kill you.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even hardly tolerate sugar anymore. I have
No
no
kidding. You created your own allergy to sugar.
prop, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. So,
All right, Jeff.
yeah.
Well, Julie, thanks so much. It's been a great honor to have you on tonight, and I look forward to
Absolutely
meeting
correct.
you next week in Hilton Head.
Hey, you better come up. I'd love to meet you. Mike, we'd love to see you again. And
Yes,
thank you.
I'll come down. I'll come down south. I'll come down south for sure.
Thank you,
And
guys.
you're going to come up because Mirka's coming up too, and you're going to play at my place. I mean, we only have 27 courts here at PGA Verano, but it's enough for you guys.
27? Okay.
Yeah.
If that's all you've got, Mike, I guess I could count.
Yeah, you just have to work with it, okay, Jules?
Okay.
Well, we only have 64 over here, Mike, so 27's okay, I guess.
Right. I told you, you'll have to suffer with me at 27.
What a featherweight. Yeah.
Right?
Thank you,
Well,
guys.
again, thanks,
Julie,
Julie.
thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you got a busy schedule. Best of luck. Stay healthy. And I know I'll see you soon. You're not that far away.
All right. My pleasure, guys.
Have a good night, Julie. Thank you.
Bye, Jules.
Bye.
Again, what a phenomenal lady.
Yeah,
You know, super,
fantastic.
super humble. Now you can see where J-Dub gets it from. The kid's most respectful kid. And boy, we would love to get his calmness in a bottle. That would sell.
100%.
All right, so you're traveling again. Where are you headed to next?
Hilton Head, I'm going to play men's and mixed. Looking forward to that.
Nice.
So it should be good. My last road trip for the year. So.
Oh, that's good. So the weather's been changing wonderfully over here, hasn't it?
It has been nice. It has been really nice.
People are coming out more coaching. The weather's better. People are coming out earlier, staying out later. And you need to come over to the East Coast, and I'll come over to the West Coast soon.
Yeah, you keep threatening.
I know. I have lots of invitations. You know, I do know lots of people over there, so I'll make it. And, you know, I'll bring you a little paint for the paddle to cover that white.
That'll be good. That'll be good. I could use that. Maybe I'll put it.
You know, it's not
I'll
like
put
it's
your
damaged.
sticker over it. I'll put Coach Mike's sticker on it.
Put my pup sticker right in the middle.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Be healthy. God bless you, brother. Thank you for everything you do. And
Thanks,
I'll talk
Coach.
to you soon.
All right. Have a good week.
Bye,
We'll talk to you
everybody.
soon.
Bye.